So what this video is going to be, you can see Yang peeking over my shoulder. I am going to be reading all of the Goosebumps books that I have, or that I can find for a reasonable price. As you saw in those clips earlier, I do have a rather extensive older Goosebumps collection. I do prefer the original covers to the new ones that have been releasing. It's just a personal preference. I know the contents are still the same, and if I need to, I can go buy more. They do still publish them at bookstores and online, so I'm not too worried about running out of content. But I do also collect a ton of other middle grade and teen horror that was written at that time, and that is kind of where my love of reading began. So for this video concept, I will be reading 5 Goosebumps books at a time, and then rewarding myself with a personal pan pizza from Pizza Hut. Just like back in the day, you know, you would get your AR points if your school did that, and then you could spend those points on things, or if you got so many points at the end of the year, you got a pizza or an ice cream cone from somewhere local or a Pizza Hut. So it was a really cool program they had going on back then, and I'm really excited to take on this challenge, live a little bit of nostalgia. That's kind of the vibe. And I hope you guys will enjoy following along with this video challenge. If you collect any older books, let me know what series you collected below, or what author you really preferred, because I think this could be really fun to do with friends, and I can't wait to tell you about some of these books. I haven't read all of these. I've only read a select few of the Goosebumps books. I read a lot more Fear Street, but I did really love Goosebumps. So I'm gonna start with this one. This is one that I never read. I did watch some of the TV show back in the day. Probably about 15 years ago, I rewatched the show, not all the episodes, but I did watch this one. So I do kind of know what it's about very vaguely, but it has been a while, so I'm a little rusty. But this is called Say Cheese and Die. One picture is worth 1,000 screams. That's so exciting. They're very short little books. Horror, middle grade. I believe middle grade is the age range these are for. Let's just get into the first book. Mr. Yang, are you excited for the Goosebumps book challenge? Oh my god. You are sitting on a cup right now. How does it make you feel? So, I am on chapter 5, and this, if you've never read it, is about this group of kids who are bored. They're bored in the summer, and they find a camera in an abandoned house. They just found the camera, so bad things are about to start to happen. It's fun, of course. I don't remember these being so needlessly descriptive as a kid, and I guess I just expected them to be a little more simple, but I guess needless is kind of harsh. They seem more advanced than I expected them to. And I know that's saying a lot because they're Goosebumps, but so far so good. Enjoying the reading experience. I'm sure I'll get through this very quickly. Which one do you think I should read next? I'm gonna read all of them, but it's gonna take a while. I'm not gonna like do these consecutively because I don't want to go crazy, but I have been wanting to reread through my collection since I really started diving into collecting them. Do you remember if you had a favorite, JB?
I remember I had a series of Goosebumps that were about the ventriloquist dummy.
Ah.
Like, I remember the dummy a lot. And I remember like a family cookout that a bunch of people turned into werewolves.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure what the title of it was. Oh, and I like the one that was like you know, normally the Goosebumps books are kind of like a pun, like the titles are puns.
Yeah.
Well, this one, it was the only one I remember that wasn't a pun, but it was about a giant praying mantis, pretty much. They called it
yeah.
The Monster or something.
I've seen that cover.
Yep, so that's the ones I remember.
My favorite, and granted, I didn't read a ton of these. I read a few that I really liked, and I just reread them over and over because my library didn't have but maybe 10 Goosebumps books at the library at my school. So I read The Beast from the East, and that was my favorite for some reason.
Yeti, right?
It's kind of like a purple Yeti. Yeah. And I don't really remember why it's my favorite. I think maybe it was just spookier than the other ones they had. I didn't really find the slime ones very scary. I do remember another one about a girl who made a wish, and it was like too good to be true, like a monkey's paw kind of situation. It's always the same format though with these Goosebumps books, if you're unfamiliar. There's kids, somebody does something to discover the, what's it called, the MacGuffin, and then spooky things happen, and then they got to figure out how to make it stop, or if it's supernatural, or they got to figure out if it's like just a coincidence that this thing is happening. Usually it is supernatural. I think I only remember like one or two that it ended up being like a trick of the eyes or something. I'm still really excited about this. This is gonna be really fun. I am really enjoying the nostalgia of it, and I do recommend doing this if you can get your hands on some Goosebumps. They still have them in stores, like in Books A Millions and Barnes & Nobles and online. Brand new copies you can get, collections of the old covers you can get, but I personally like these really old ones from the 90s. So those are the ones that I want to collect. Unless I have no other option, this is what I'm gonna get. So a lot of mine are tattered. This one's one of the better condition ones, and it is number 4, so it's the 4th one that got published, 1992, and I was 1 year old when this was published.
What month was it? Does it say?
November.
I was just a few months old.
Yeah, we were babies when this came out, so that's pretty cool. Hello, I'm here with a currently reading update. I've got a stack here that I'm reading, which I don't like to do. It overwhelms me, but I've put myself in this predicament, so I must deal with it. So I'm going to show you. Of course, I have my currently reading Goosebumps book. This is Say Cheese and Die, R.L. Stine. I'm on chapter 11, page 40. So I'll get through this really quickly. It's like 100 and something pages, 130 something. So that will be a no-brainer. Quick read whenever I'm in the mood for it. I've got Bleach manga. This is 28, 29, and 30 omnibus. I do prefer these omnibuses. I've mentioned in several videos. I think I'm halfway, a little more than halfway in the first volume in this, volume 28. I'll slowly work my way through this. I love Bleach. My husband's already read it. We watch it together. He's currently playing the Bleach video game right now, which is really funny. But I'm very slowly making my way through it. When I find good deals on either the omnibuses or the singles, I'm collecting both. So yes, that's the manga. And then I have another book. I'm not sure if they want me to share their actual name, but they write fantasy books, at least right now. I think they're also working on a romance, which is interesting. But this is The Oracle King by R.H. Linehan. I'm really enjoying this. So I was reading this Wretched Valley, this wretched book is more like it, and I enjoyed the first quarter. Like I mentioned, I enjoyed how it was supposed to end with that little intro, but I got so bored, y'all. It was not worth the time. So I picked this up because it was going to be my next read anyway, and I instantly fell in love with her writing. Is just so good. And you know, it's funny because like I've met people in real life and I've read some books. I've been introduced to people on Instagram who are really kind and you want to be friends with them, but their books weren't really well written and they're new. And I'm not saying I can write a book. I'm trying to, but honestly, it's a talent. It is a skill. It is a studied skill. It is a plethora of different things. She's genuinely very good at writing. And I've already read the first two books. This is the third. I think there is a fourth, and I think that's the end of the series, if I'm not mistaken. The next book is. This one is really good. This is like a fancy edition. Self-published, obviously. I got it off Amazon because that's the only way I can get it. And it's got these beautiful illustrations in it. I haven't gotten to one of them yet, but I'll just show you one. She commissioned several artists to do character portraits or specific scenes from the story. I don't think any of them will be spoilery because I'm in like a group chat with her and her ARC readers. Just gonna show you. They're black and white, but the originals are full color. They're gorgeous. Different artists have been supported throughout this. I did some original chapter headers for the first 2 books. So I felt really special being involved in that. It was so fun. I definitely want to do more of that for authors in the future for a low cost if possible, or just for trade if I'm interested in the book. But yeah, I appreciate her for letting me be a part of that. I don't think they're in this book. I don't believe so. I still am really excited to read this. It's so good so far. I think I'm only a little bit into it. I'm on chapter 2, which is page 22. And it's great. It's fantastic. This one, since it is a sequel, I'm not going to tell you much about it because I don't want to spoil anything. But the first book is about this young woman who is about marriageable age, and she offers herself to be a wife of this soon-to-be king so that their tribes or kingdoms can mesh well together. And she just kind of just says, okay, I'll take the bullet, and he's hot anyway, so whatever. Much more eloquently worded than what I just said, but you know, they fall in love, and it seems like true love at first sight kind of thing. And then things go sour, and he becomes corrupt and sick in the mind, and it becomes hell for her. She has a son, and she tries to escape because they're going to lock her away. So it's a runaway story. It is a save your family story. It's very motherly. So if you want a good mother story, I don't have children, but I enjoyed that first book very, very much. And there's lots of friendships. It's got inclusivity. It's got everything that you could want. It's not super mega spicy. It does have some fade to black scenes. So I think that it's pretty appropriate for most ages. Of course, it's got some like gore parts involving like death. It's got fighting in it, some suggestive moments in it. So to each their own when recommending it to younger readers. But this is the third book. Really, really good so far. I will tell you more about it at a later time. For the rest of this vlog, I'm going to be finishing this one specifically, along with reading some of my manga. I am also reading some of Uzumaki still. I know I mentioned that in my video where I talked about what's currently on my manga TBR. So I am still slowly working through that. I just haven't picked it up in like a week or so. But I'm reading 4 books right now. I don't like doing that, y'all. I don't like doing that. I like to read a manga and a book at the same time, and that's it. That is like the most I'll do. It's a little overwhelming, I'm not gonna lie. But right now I'm working on some t-shirts. My husband has a karate studio I've mentioned before. You can see one of mine right here. I also own an Etsy business, and I'll have the link in the description if you want to check it out. T-shirts aren't listed yet, unless you're watching this way in the future. And you want to go check it out, please do. I do a lot of different things. T-shirts are going to be a new item that I have. Hentai design that I've had for a long time as enamel pins and stickers. Currently the pins and stickers are still in stock in my Etsy shop. The shirts will be brand new, and I hope that they sell well. I'm just going to do an initial small run of the shirts. I do print them in-house, but I have a limited number that I can do. I can't really explain why, but yeah, I have very few that I can make here. And I'm making my husband one right now for his business, for his own personal self to have. He bought himself some nice quality t-shirts, a little more than we would want to sell to our students because it would just shoot the price up to like $50 a shirt, and nobody wants that. So he bought himself a really nice quality t-shirt, and I'm printing one for him, and I already printed one the other day, a different design. And then I want to get like joggers to do something neat with. I just have to do a new design for that because none of the ones we have would work. And I also want to do like a sweatshirt or a hoodie with some of our karate designs on it for myself. So when it gets a little colder, maybe I'll do that. I can just go pick it up at Hobby Lobby and then bring it home and do that. No big deal. They've got comfort colors, and that's kind of what I want. Okay, so I'm on chapter 12 now, which is page 48. I read some while I was waiting for my t-shirt to press because it takes a few minutes. This so far is, like I mentioned in the first clips, about these kids who find a camera and it takes weird pictures. So he's already taken like 3 or 4 photos with it, and for some reason it's showing like creepy images. So like if he takes a picture of the car, it shows the car all crumbled up and in a heap of like destruction. So really creepy stuff, and it keeps happening and it keeps happening. And he's like, oh, the camera's just broken, but things start happening to people that are taking photos of. So it's haunted. A haunted camera that can predict the future, or is it causing the bad future? Hard to tell. I like to think that it's causing the bad futures just because that would be more Goosebumps-esque. I think this is really fun so far. The writing is simple enough, but it's not so simple that I feel insulted reading it. So I'm having a really good time enjoying this little nostalgia read. I never read this one, so it's still new enough for me to really sink my teeth into it, and I'm having a good time. Okay, so I'm at my husband's work right now. It's a Friday, and I had a really rough day at work. Don't even want to talk about it. It was not good. Not because of me, it was something else, but I wanted to take a second to talk about what's been happening in this book. So I told you about the car, I told you about the house that they found, I think, maybe, I don't know, it's where they found the camera. Went to one of their friends that's in a little friend group. Bless you. They went to his baseball game. They suck. They were losing really bad, but they stayed, and they took a picture of their friend before the game started, and it showed him like all, and then it happened. He got hit by a ball, and they so that's where I'm at right now. The next chapter, they're going to be dealing with the aftermath of that. I'm on page 58 out of 132, so about that far into it. And it's good. The writing's really good. I think that R.L. Stine is definitely a talented writer. As far as a life update, like I said, work really was rough today. I'm not going to get into detail because it's just not worth it, I'll be honest. And all I can say is it's not fun taking the fall for someone else's choices. I like the job. I'm just tired of working for other people. I really want to work for myself and my husband. I want us to own our own businesses, and that's it. I've always been a really hard worker. I got it from my grandma. Here's a picture of my grandma. She passed away in January of this year, and she was one of the most important people in my life, and that really took me out for a few months. Maybe not a few months, but for a while. I still struggle with it, and sometimes I break down randomly thinking about her. She was very important to me. I want to open a business in her honor one day. That's kind of what I'm working towards. But she did give me a really strong work ethic. That's something that I did get from her and my mother. So I just really hold her dear to my heart. And she was in her 90s. I got her for a really long time, so I was very lucky. I have to know that. She didn't die in a very tragic way. It was a very natural. She had a lot of family with her, so it was the best way possible, I guess. Still sucks. I'll have to put a trigger warning at the beginning of this video because trauma dump. Sometimes I tell too much to y'all. I'm not sure how much of this I'll leave in the video, but I'll leave some of it. I do like to document my life for myself as well. But the reason I brought that up is because she gave me a really hard work ethic, and I don't skimp on my jobs. I work really, really hard to do what I do. Even if I hate the job, I work my butt off doing it. I've always been that way. I always got compliments when I first started a job. It takes me a little longer than usual, I think, because I think I have ADD, have not been diagnosed, I'm not gonna lie to you. But everyone else in my family has it. So I think it takes me a little longer to get what's happening, but once I get it, I am your hardest worker. You will not find anyone better than me until you finish me off. And what I mean by that is I'll work somewhere, it could be a year, it could be 4 years, it could be 3 years, 2 years, and eventually they start treating me like crap. Every job I've ever had, this one, I'm not gonna say anything, but every job I've had, I really like it, and then all of a sudden my boss just decides they can treat me like crap because I guess I won't leave or something. Like they think I'm just not important enough, even though I get bragged on being like one of the hardest workers until I don't get bragged on. And so I inevitably quit because my boss just turns into an a-hole and they think they can walk all over me, and I take as much as I can and then I'm gone. I don't take crap anymore. I'm too old for that. Every job I've ever left has been because they started treating me like crap. And I don't think that's ever gonna change. So it would be great to work for myself because I genuinely like myself, most of myself. And if I fail, it's because I failed, not because someone else made me do it. So I kind of wish I would have that. And I know that comes with a lot of its own caveats and a lot of struggles with owning your own business. I know it's not going to be easy, cupcakes and rainbows or whatever, lots of money coming in. hopefully, you know, you never know. But my husband's been running his martial arts business for a few years now, and it's been doing really, really well. We got really lucky lately, got a really good space with good traffic. So I don't know how long I'll be at mine, but right now I'm saving money, trying to. It's really hard when you have interest and you want to be happy. To open my own business so that we both can own our own businesses where we want to, and that be our own boss. And that's the goal. So I just wanted to talk to y'all about that. It's just something I've been thinking about. Maybe if they start getting closer to being a reality, I'll give you more details on what I'm interested in doing, but for right now, it's just a goal. But I'm on chapter 14 with this book, and it's good. Can you believe that these were $3.99 when they came out? Holy crap, $4 for a book? 2025 could never. Hey friends, so I finally finished the book I've been reading for this vlog, which is Say Cheese and Die. The what number is this? This is number 4 Goosebumps book, 1992 publishing. So this was a really fun experiment. I am really excited to continue doing more of these, but I don't know how quickly I will start the next one just because I like to take breaks in between things. So I think each video is just going to be one book at a time unless I just fly through one of them and want to start a second one. But for now, I'm going to tell you how this ended. These are pretty spoilery. I'll be sure to include a spoiler one at the beginning for you. But essentially, the ending of the book was they wanted to return the camera because, of course, things just kept happening. They couldn't tell if the camera was broken, if it was cursed, like causing the problems, or if it was just predicting the future that things would happen that were bad. And I think eventually they had just decided that it was just predicting the future. So they go back to the house. There was a thing between him and his friend that's the girl in the group. She just went missing. He took a picture of her at her birthday party. She wasn't in the picture, so she just disappeared, and he took her picture again and she wasn't in the picture. So it was predicting her disappearing, and so she did disappear. Police couldn't find anything. He tries to tell the police, hey, I have this camera that I think does evil, and they thought he was crazy, of course. And so he regrets telling them. Then he tears up the picture one day, and all of a sudden she appears, like, at the same time that he shredded up the pictures of her. They're like, okay, we're gonna go take the camera back, because his other 2 friends were too chicken to do it. So him and the girl decided to go return the camera where they found it, in the creepy old house that they broke into. This was pretty scary, honestly. There were parts in it I was like, I could see kids getting really, really worked up over a couple of scenes. There was a scene where the quote, homeless guy who owned the camera was chasing them. That was pretty scary. Not like horrifying, but pretty scary. And then they return the camera. He pretty much says you can't leave because you know too much. And the camera was actually a science experiment. A science experiment. I am a scientist, and I stole the camera from my other scientist friend, and he cursed it, blah, blah, blah. So it was a magical camera that was cursed to hurt the person who took photos. So he had like ruined his life because he stole it and took a bunch of pictures. And then he died because they accidentally took a picture of him. That was the end of the story. And they escape, and then the ending, there's like a little twist to lead you into, because I think there's a Say Cheese and Die 2 later on in the series. But it leads you into that. I don't want to really spoil that part just because. But this was really fun. I had a really good time reading this. It's definitely like a really interesting thing to go back and read some childhood favorite books and things that I really cared about back then that got me into reading, enjoying horror, enjoying thrillers, enjoying mysteries, enjoying middle grade, as it were. This is technically middle grade, I believe. I do highly recommend this if you're someone who is curious about Goosebumps books or middle grade horror, middle grade thrillers. It was really fun. I'm sure there are newer copies of this that you can get. It'll just have a different cover, and those are the ones I wanted to collect, was this older, more nostalgic for my childhood cover. So I give it, okay, so 5 would be like the highest score. 1 would be the lowest. I think I give it 4 stars. This was pretty fun. I had a good time reading it, and I was pretty intrigued the entire time. Didn't really get bored. 4 out of 5. Can't wait to see which one I pick up next. Let me guys know in the comments below which Goosebump book you want me to read next, because I'm not reading them in order. I'm doing it based on vibes, and I might do it based off of your inquiries and recommendations. So let me know if you're interested in what I should read next. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Have a great rest of your day, and be safe out there. Love you guys.